say, suppose if the order of the first matrix is say 2 and 4, what it means? Very good. Now enter the order of second matrix. Suppose if I specify here 3 and 4, what it means? 3 rows and 4 columns. Now if I want to do the addition of these two matrices of this order, whereas in the second matrix you have 3 rows and 4 columns, is it possible for us to do the addition? No. So if a user enters in this way, then a proper message has to be displayed. Order of both the matrices are not same, right? So the addition or a subtraction operation cannot be performed. Addition can be only performed when order of both the matrices are same. Let us check it out. This time we will execute the second order, the order of the second matrix as well, 2 and 3. So now, are the order of both the matrices are same? Yes. If I press enter now, what it is asking now? Enter 6 elements of first matrix. From where did that 6 gets calculated? 2 into 3, right? Now, say let me enter the numbers in the same order like this, right? Are they 2 in row and enter the 6 elements of, sorry, it has to be changed to second matrix. I will change that. Second matrix. Say here if I specify as 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 and press enter. Sum of matrices. Is it same? No, it is calculated wrongly, right? Let us look into that. Okay, we'll modify this one code. What it should do is that it should calculate the sum of both the matrices and then display the correct one. Here it is not doing right way. We'll modify the code. You are going to tell me the code for this and accordingly we will write the program for this. Okay, C program to calculate addition of two matrices. Now you need to tell me how many variables are required, or rather how many two-dimensional arrays are required here. We want to do what? Add how many matrices? Another for second matrix. Then do we require one more or only two are enough? We need to calculate the sum as well, right? And that sum is also a two-dimensional array. To store that the addition of the matrices, we require third matrix or the third two-dimensional array here. So let us declare first arrays like int matrix 1. I will just 2 minutes, students. This is for the number of rows and one more square bracket is for the number of columns. Now maximum how many rows and how many columns this first matrix can store? 10. Yes. Similarly, now I want to declare one more matrix to store the elements, that is for the second matrix. So what shall I write? Mat 2 and then 10, 10. Okay, then I require the third two-dimensional array to store the sum of both the matrices. So I can make use of one more variable, that is sum, and this also will be two-dimensional arrays. So I will again specify the same way. Understood these three declarations? Okay. Now we need to read the order of first matrix. Means we need to read two numbers, row and column for first matrix. Also, we need to read row and column for second matrix. So total how many variables? 4 variables. So let us take the variables as m1, n1. Now here understand m and n two variables are there. M is for rows and n is for columns. And this one indicates it is for the first matrix. So m1 means number of rows in the first matrix. n1 means number of columns in the first matrix. Okay, then similarly I want to read the order of the second matrix. That means I require number of rows as well as number of columns for the second matrix. So I will take it to be m2, n2. Understood these variables, the purpose of those? Yes or no? We want to check whether user enters the same numbers or different numbers. If they enter wrong numbers, then we have to put up a message. Okay. Now, then next variables we require for looping, right? For the outer for loop and for the inner for loop, we require a counter, right? So two more variables are required. I will take it to be I and j. So here I means for the outer for loop, which will be responsible for the number of rows traversal, and j is for the inner for loop, and it is responsible for traversing to the number of columns. So these many variables and their two-dimensional arrays are required as of now. Okay, now let us go the next steps. Once the program executes, initially it should display a message, enter order of first matrix. So print f, enter the order of first matrix. Okay, let's put us. Okay, next scanf. Now here in the scanf, how many values we are going to read? How many values we will be reading here? 2 values. What are those values? Row and column. What are the variables? m1 and n1. So within the double quotes here, 2%ds, right? Then first one is ampersand m1 and the next one is ampersand n1. Okay, then once we read the order of the first matrix, next it should display enter the order of second matrix. Let me just do a copy paste of these two lines. So this will be enter the order of second matrix, and here the variables will be what? M2 and N2. What happened? Sorry. Okay. M2 and N2. Next. Now, what we need to do now? We need to compare order of first matrix and second matrix. If both are equal, then only we can perform addition. Otherwise, we need to skip the addition part. So here we require an if else. Two-way branching, right? So we require an if else part. Let us put the sentences or frame the control structure here. If else. If both the orders, both the matrices orders are same, then perform the addition. Otherwise, skip the addition and just display a message stating to be orders are unequal. So here I will just write a first printf statement. The order of both the matrices are unequal. Okay. Suppose if they are equal, now how do we identify whether the order of both the matrices are equal or not? M1 equal to M2 and N1 equal to N2. right? So M1 equal to M2, and how do we represent and? Comma, then N1 equal to N2. Is this correct? What is wrong? 2 equals to. We want to compare the values, right? So it should be 2 equals to. Is M1 equals to M2? We need and here, right? How do we represent logical and? Double and symbols. And then here N1 is equals to N2. This will be true only when if both these individual statements are true. Okay. Otherwise, it will fall into the else block and it will display the order of both matrices are unequal. Okay. Now assume that if order of both the matrices are 2, then what we should do first? Enter the elements of first matrix, right? So print a statement, printf, enter the elements. That is how many elements? Percentage D elements of first matrix. Okay, we'll just go on to the next line using the /n. Then here, what is the variable I should provide here for this percentage D? M1 into, yes, M1 into N1. Correct? Now, then we need to write the for loop, nested for loop to read the values or read the element of first matrix. For, what is the variable for outer for loop? I equals to, initial value is 0. Condition less than number of rows in the first matrix. What is the variable for that? M1. See, I equal to 0, that is the initial value. Then we need to repeat up to the last element, that is the last index of the rows. So for the first matrix, the number of rows are stored into which variable? M1 variable, right? Then semicolon I plus plus. Then inner for loop for j equal to 0, j less than number of columns, right? The number of columns are stored in N1. It is stored in N1. J plus plus. What we need to perform? Scanf, right? Scanf percentage D. Now, where I have to update in which particular two-dimensional array? First matrix. First matrix, what is the name? mat1. So I want to store at address of mat1. So it will be address of mat1. Okay. I need to provide 2 square brackets here. What will be the first value? I. Second value? J. Understood this one? No. Since I have not added any brackets here, like for the for loop, there are no floor brackets. For the inner for loop also, there are no floor brackets because there are only one statements in that. We can skip here. The same way we need to read the elements for second matrix as well, right? I require the same lines, but what I will be changing? Here, enter the percentage D element of second matrix and it will be what? M2 into N2. Then I equal to 0, I less than, this time it is M2 and I plus plus, and for the columns N2 and the matrix. Followed? Yes? Okay. Now, once we read both the matrices, next what we should do? We should do addition of those two matrices. Let me at this point, let me put an Excel sheet and try to show you. Now, say that we have a first matrix, mat1 here, mat1, and the number of rows and number of columns in this, let us take 2 and 3. Let's make it as a simpler. I'm going to make it as 2 by 3 matrix. So this is I value, this is j value, and the first value will be 0 and this is 1. The same time here 0, 1 and 2. The same thing we do have for the other matrix, that is matrix number 2. Okay, now this is matrix 2. It also has I value and j value, and these are the values of that. Suppose you have already entered the numbers for the matrix. Say the first matrix element, tell me the values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Second matrix 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Okay, now these things have been happened so far, the code we have written. Next, what we need to do, we also know that there is one particular matrix by the name sum. Okay, and the content of that sum we need to populate here. We do have a sum here. We want to populate the sum. Now, in the sum matrix, 0th cell, what we need to add and store it? 1 and 6. Means the matrix sum I and j values like 0, 0, we want to do matrix 1's 0, 0 plus matrix 2's 0, 0. And that value 1 plus 6, calculate and store it into this value. Next, increment to the next cell, that is 0, 1, not only in the sum, but also for the matrix 1 as well as matrix 2. Okay, then corresponding to that values 2 and 5 you add and store it into the same position. So again here we want to access what? The every element of these 3 matrices. Okay, and correspondingly add the respective elements into the third matrix sum. So the code will be, it is much similar to what we have written here with little modifications, like for I will start from I equal to 0 and number of rows. Now tell me here, number of rows, that is M1 and M2, are they same? M1 and M2, are they same or are they different? Same. So if I want to access any one of these matrices, I can use M1 for rows, right? Or M2 as a rows, any one value I can use. So I will use here M1, I less than M1 and I plus plus. So let me put a brackets here because we are going to use many brackets. Okay, then number of columns here are for j equal to 0 and j less than, this case I can make use of n1 also. Is this n1 same? N1 and m2 both are same? Yes. J plus plus, sorry. Okay, now within this we are going to write certain code here. Now what we want to do, we want to take this value and this value, make a addition and store it into this value. Like this is A, this is B and this is C. C is equals to A plus B, right? That is sum is equals to A plus B we want to do. But here sum is, C is not a single variable, it is the element of a matrix. That is, pay attention, sum of I, J, right, equals to mat 1 of I, J plus mat 2 of I, J. Very good. So you are following the concepts here. Now, understand this one. This is very simple. Let me place them side by side, if possible. Is it visible together? Okay. I is 0. M1 is, what is M1 value? M1 means, is it rows or columns? Rows, right? How many rows are there? 2. So what is M1 value? 2. 0 less than 2. Condition is true. Then j equal to 0, j less than n1. What is n1 value? 3. So 0 less than 3. Condition is true. It will enter into the for loop. Now what is going to happen? There is an assignment as well as addition. Addition will be performed first. I is 0, j is also 0. So mat1 of 0, 0 is what? 1. And mat2 of 0, 0 is what? 6. So 1 plus 6 will be performed. That is 7. And that 7 will be updated where? Sum of 0, 0. Sum of 0, 0 means this particular cell. So 7 will be updated over here. Right? Then next, j gets incremented. J becomes 1. 1 less than 3. True. So I value is 0. J value is 1. So 0, 1 is this one, mat1, and mat2 is this one. So 2 plus 5, 7. That 7 will be updated where? Sum of 0, 1. So here 7 will be updated. So should I trace it completely, or you understood here? Right? So next value will be this 3 and 4 will be calculated, 7 will be updated. So by this time, j will get value as 3. 3 less than 3 condition become false. So the inner for loop will get skipped. It will go to the outer for loop updation. I value as 0. Now it will become 1. 1 less than 2 condition is true. Then again it will enter into the for loop. Then it calculates these 3 values. So again here it will become 7, 7 and 7. Okay. So these statements will help us in calculating the sum of the two matrices. I just placed the brackets here. I just wanted to trace this program without any confusions. Now you can look here. There is only one statement. We can get rid of these brackets as well. We can just directly write this statement, immediately this one, and immediately this also we can write. Okay. Now, once we calculate the sum, we want to display that sum as well. Right? Then how we need to write this code for that? To display the sum values. Printf sum of two matrices is, okay, yes, tell me now. You are going to tell me the code for here. How we will display? We want to access every element of the matrix, right? Some elements, that is some matrix. How we will access it? Using nested for loop. For I equals to 0, I less than M1, I plus plus. Okay. Then inside this, for j equal to 0, j less than n1, j plus plus. Okay. So within this, we need to do what? Print f. Percentage d. After that, slash t. Double quote complete. Then sum of ij. Sum of ij. After printing the first row, we want to move on to the next line, right? So after this bracket, one more printf statement. Here we'll just write slash n. Followed? Let us compile the program and check for any errors. No, there are no errors. Let us execute. Enter the order of first matrix 2, 3. Let us enter a wrong values like 3 and 2. the order of both the matrices are unequal. 2 and 3 compared, it is unequal. 3 and 2, this is also unequal. So it entered into the else form. Okay. Now this time, let us execute the code with the proper values. 2, 3, 2 and 3. Now enter the 6 elements of first matrix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then enter the 6 elements of second matrix. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Sum of two matrices is 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Is this correct? Yes? No. Now if I want to modify this program to include subtraction as well, this program, what it will do now? It is doing the addition of the two matrices. In the same program, I want to make a change like you do the addition, you do the subtraction as well. Then do we require one more two-dimensional array to store the subtraction? Declare that variable here. Let's call it as difference or subtraction sub, okay, and make it to be 10 and 10, comma. So this particular two-dimensional array will store now the subtracted values of both the matrices. Okay, then where we should add the values or the codes. We want to perform the same, right? These same operations. When we do the addition, we also need to do subtraction. So here I can simply add one more statement. What will be that? Subtraction of ij equals to mat1 of ij minus mat2 of I and j. Okay. Then anything else we need to do now? So here also we will add one more printf statement and we'll mention it to be sub. Okay. Printf %d/t sub I j. Correct? Like this way. Then we need to write this printf statement. That is not only this line. We need to do the entire lines. All these things we need. Copy this one and put it as a separate block. And here mention subtraction of two matrices. And here it will be, instead of sum, it will be sub. Okay, now save it. Only the calculation part we did it in only one nested loop. But whereas displaying, we need to display them separately. So first for the sum and second for the subtraction. Okay, now let us check this code for errors. No errors. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, 2 and 3. Second matrix. Sum of two matrices is this one and subtraction of two matrices this one. Are these values correct? Yes? No. No. Question answers. Any doubts here? Because this is very important. Any doubts? I'll just put it here. Wait, you can write down. Wait. Any doubts? No? Okay. Neatly write down, don't make any mistakes because there are many. Okay, suppose here when I executed this code, it just displayed the subtracted addition, the sum as well as subtracted values. If I want to display the matrix 1 and matrix 2, I want to display matrix 1 values as well as matrix 2 values, then how do we do that? We need to write two more times these set of values where it will be matrix 1. And then here, instead of sum, it will be mat1. And second time, matrix 2. and this will be mat 2. Okay. Yes. Now write down. C program to calculate addition and subtraction of two matrices.